Hello friends, this is Rajiv Sharma, strategic analyst and your explainer of things and events around you. Let's talk today about the Indian Union Budget 2020-21, which was presented on 1st of February by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in Parliament. Now, one unique feature of the Indian Union Budget was the portion related to India's foreign aid. Now, this budget, the foreign aid figures, why this became a bit talked about thing was largely because of the deep cut made in Indian foreign aid for Nepal. Now, I have some statistics, some figures, so I need to consult this paper. Nepal, India has cut down its aid. In last year's budget, India had allocated 1200 crores or rupees. But India ended up allocating actually only 800 crores. Now, this time in this budget, this has been further reduced. Now, this is something which is rather interesting. One should explain it against the backdrop of the Madhesi crisis in 2015 that soured relations between India and Nepal. Incidentally, in the last 4 fiscal years, these statistics will be very useful. What Indian foreign aid to 6 neighboring countries in South Asia has been like, what are the statistics like? But before that, let me give you a broad brush picture that India by and large has been giving aid to some dozen odd countries plus 2 regions, like that is Africa and Caribbean, Latin American. So let's now focus on the 6 neighboring countries in South Asia. The number 1 on the table has always been Bhutan. Now, in the last 4 fiscal years, that is from 2014 to 15 to 2017-18, India has disbursed aid equivalent to 21,100 crore, which roughly works out to $3 billion. Now, this is which are those 6 countries? Alphabetically speaking, Afghanistan, in the alphabetical order: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. Afghanistan, yes, Afghanistan. It is the figure is 2,233 crores, almost. I'm rounding it off. Bangladesh, 514 crore. Bhutan, 15,681 crore, almost. Maldives, 270 crore. Nepal, 1,322 crore. Sri Lanka, 1,080 crore. Other developing countries, the aid figure is reduced slightly from last year of figure of 150 crore to this year 120 crore. Now, Nepal, we have already talked about, but the interesting story is that of Bhutan. Actually, in past 13 years almost, India has given aid worth $4.7 billion to Bhutan in the last 17 years, that is from year 2000 to year 2017. Now this is something amazing. $4.7 billion works out to roughly 35,000 crore. And why not? Because Bhutan happens to be the largest trading partner. As far as India is the largest trading partner of Bhutan. India accounts for 79% of Bhutanese imports and 90% of Bhutan's exports. Sorry. Now, let me just run through other countries. Say, number 2 after Bhutan comes Mauritius. In 2017-18, the figure was 350 crore. This has been tripled to 1100 crore, 1100 crore in 2019-20, that is last year's budget. Now, this is very interesting because India is handling big projects like Metro Express, Supreme Court building there, infra projects at Agaliga Island. Then number 3 comes Nepal, which we already discussed. Then number 4 comes Maldives, 570 crore, that was a figure for last year. And Maldives is very important country because it is just 1200 kilometers from the Indian mainland and just 700 kilometers from India's Lakshadweep Islands. Then number 5 comes Bangladesh. The figure is 514 crore. Then on that list comes Africa as a continent because India is engaging with Africa in a big way. In 2019-20, that is last year, the figure was 450 crore to the entire continent. This year, the figure has been trimmed to 350 crore. Then comes number 7, Myanmar. See, we have been pursuing Act East policy. So Myanmar becomes important. The aid figure remains 400 crore. Number 8 is Afghanistan. Afghanistan is, this year, the figure remains the same as it was last year, that is 400 crore. Now, it is interesting that in the past 4 years, that is from 2014-15 to 2017-18, India has poured in 2,233 crore in Afghanistan. Now, then comes, interestingly, number 9, Russia. Now, this Russia is not actually Russia. This is FarEast. Because, as you know, last year when Prime Minister Modi visited Vladivostok, the far eastern region of Russia, so then he announced India's Act Far East policy. So, for development of the Far East region, India has announced a line of credit of $1 billion, which works out to 7,000 crore rupees. Then comes number 10, Caribbean nations. Now, with Caribbean also, there is India has stepped up its engagement. This is called CARICOM, Caribbean Community and Common Market. So, India has announced $14 million grant, which works out to about 100 crore. Over and above that, there is 150 million line of credit, which works out to almost 1,000 crore. Now, this is largely for solar, renewable energy, climate change related projects in CARICOM. Then number 11 and last comes SriLanka. This is last year India had given aid to Sri Lanka worth 205 crore, 205. This year the aid has been slightly reduced to 200 crore. course, we must understand many of these figures were given by, were announced on the floor of the Rajya Sabha by the government. So I hope this relates to figures and statistics. I hope you will find it useful, particularly for IAS aspirants, civil services aspirants. This should be a very relevant and important information. Thank you.